Alright, let's see. What do you want to look at? Choose another photography picture. I like this page, Google. Ooh, it's newborn. Actually, I don't want to look at that. Nature photography. Anyone see anything they like? Actually, yeah. Sorry, I remember I've actually seen this picture. I think this is from the Bertram Art Gallery, which is this photographer, and he used to have a place near my house before it closed down, and it was really cool. And so now seeing this picture just fills me with so much nostalgia. Oh, and just to prove to you that it can, in fact, copy the. Did it open? Did it not copy? That it copies the dimensions of the picture. When I go to File New, suddenly, whoa, it's big. And it looks beautiful, unlike the crappy dorm room picture. So, there's many different things you can do. And I guess first we'll start with like the most Instagram-esque one, which is, the cool lighting effects they have. So, let's go to Filter, Lighting Effects. No, it's under Render, right. Lighting Effects. And this is also new to CS6. There's some really cool. Of course, all, Adobe products have their issues. This is lighting. So I'll do it again. Okay, let's close this guy. No. Okay. Can I not get out of this? Well, I went to Filter, Render, and it's really cool. There's actually a ton of really interesting stuff in here. Fibers is another cool one, though it's a little weird looking. But, I don't know, I would use it for like a scary thing. Oh, why did it disappear though? Okay, there it is. Hue, let's go to white. It's a more reasonable color. And this is pretty much acting as a lamp over. This is new. Before it was not nearly as advanced. In terms of, why is it letting me move this around? Infinite light. Okay. And you can kind of rotate it. And what this does is it takes your picture, and it pretty much, Photoshop uses, oh, this is still rippling. I'm sorry. And you can, it pretty much acts as if there's a lamp on top of it. And you can put it at an angle, and it will darken part of it. And do cool stuff. So you have the initial color, and you can change the intensity. Not only here, but via this really awesome round part right here. And then you can colorize it a little bit if you want to. I will go with like a slight orange. They do that in a lot of the filters they use. Let's see. Yeah. Cool. You can even darken the edges if you want to. I forget what it's called, but there is a filter that has like orange hue.
Oh,
dark.
Nashville.
Nashville?
Yeah.
All right.
I've never been on Instagram.
We're not judging you. We are judging you. But whatever you have to tell yourself to get yourself through the day. Darken the edges a little bit. Ooh, you can even just exposure. Alright, there's many other ones too. Let's see. Let's do the fibers one. It's a cool one. Filter. Render. Actually, let's duplicate the layer first. It'll become obvious why we're doing this later. Fibrous layer. You can name your layers too, if you want to. It's not required, but it can be useful when you have a lot of them. As you can imagine, if this were a haunted house picture or something, having a less opaque version of this over it would add a certain, ooh, no, don't lock. Why do you lock? That was scary. Even spookier than the image itself.
Okay, so do you think this might be these kind of like fibers render would be an appropriate time to talk about blending modes.
I was going to talk about gradients for this.
Do that.
Yeah, I'll go about gradients. I'm sorry, Henry.
That's alright.
Blending modes are beautiful too. The gradients are so cool. They're pretty much, you can adjust the opacity in a direction. So if you can imagine that there are ways to make this part more blue and this part more orange, you can do that with opacity too, because Photoshop used it as a color. So what you do is you create a layer mask, which is right here. I did it already. It's this thing right here. You can move around your layer, edit if you want, but you can also edit your layer mask, which is this thing. And that's what you want to have selected right now for a gradient. Because the layer mask is what holds the opacity. If I do this, then you can see that some parts will have the fibers and some parts won't. And if I made another layer, say, what's a good color? Someone pick a scream out a color.
Purple.
Cyan.
Cyan. No, I'll go with yellow. I don't know what cyan looks like. So it's like a light blue?
It's like this.
It's a light blue. Okay. You can add a vector mask. And do this. Now, the box isn't big enough. No. Yeah, it's because of that darn outer layer. Let's see. There's no stroke on this box. And goes in tight. You can even do this with pictures to blend them into each other. One of my high school projects was this with like Glenn Beck's face blending into like Satan or something. It was really beautiful. Still have it on here, but that's time for another day. You can lower the opacity a little bit if this is a little much in general. Just a hint. And using a combination of different gradients with different things, you can really do interesting things to the photo. But it's kind of a lot of work. Not gonna lie. It's a lot of messing around with layers, and people who made Photoshop, they know there's a lot of lazy people in the world. So they made an entire gallery of filters. There's a lot of filters in here. I know, right? It's a little bit of an intense filter. That's glowing edges. If you ever want to make something just look like it was taken in New York City at night with a time delay, that's what you do. You can decrease the edge width, increase the brightness, decrease the smoothness. Yeah, it's kind of annoying to look at though after a little bit. Let's see. Some other cool ones though. If you want to make something, make it look like you took it in black and white, there's wallpaper. Oh, no. That's I was thinking of water paper. But that's not black and white. But you can also do something like photocopy with higher detail, increased darkness. Now it's something you can print in a black and white printer. You don't need a color printer no more. There's a ton of filters in here too. And if you do that, we'll do your last one. So if you wanted to add something twice, just literally do this over and over again. Forever and ever and ever. And then of course, Command-Option-Z as opposed to Command-Z. Command-Z will just toggle you back and forth between undo and redo. Command-Option-Z takes you backwards through time. And I think, step forward, up Apple's. Nope, not working. Oh well. Let's see. Oh yeah. And then, there's a couple others I'm going to show you real quick. Just because they're so cool. We have texture patchwork. Square size. Yeah. Also, someone did it with what's it called?
Lego?
Needlepoint. Oh, right. And this one's a really cool one. I used this in a zombie project I did way back in the day. And I used this to take a picture of my friend and just made it look like I made it in like Illustrator or something. I was faking a project. I didn't have the time. It was a 3-day project. We were told to make a like cartoon image. Ain't nobody got time for that. It's a shame you can't see this part. Is there a way to drag this over? No? Okay. Let me just decrease the size then, so you can actually get a good idea. Number of levels higher. And suddenly, you have, something more appropriate for like a manga or comic book, Just kind of low resolution, but still really like intricate, detailed image with specific colors instead of like all sorts of things in between. All right. This next tool is not useful. It's just really fun. And it is, of course, liquify.
This is the tool you make to make yourself look skinnier.
That's true. Though you can do it other ways too. You can also use it with
But it is useful.
You can also use the smudge tool or the clone tool. What's that?
His face.
That's the beauty of Photoshop. You can make things unrecognizable from where you started. It's not the beauty, but it's one of the beauties. Now look at this. Now all of a sudden we've got like, whoa, what's happening over here? Oh no, wait. Why can't I see what's happening in the picture? Okay. And say there should be, what do you think? There should be like a whirlpool over here or something, And maybe want to make this rock over here stick out a lot more. You can give people fish eyes with this too. Or just like really bulgy eyes. And for the women in the audience, if you ever are staring at a picture and like, oh, it's such an unflattering picture. I look so flat, or then you can use the poke out tool. And you're like, oh, I look so bulgy, poke in tool. Really, it's a little creepy how explicitly that the liquify tool is designed for that. But I'm not here to judge, only teach. So, you can also do a lot of the stuff there.
Can you sell your whiteboard?
No.
No, you're using it?
No. No, I'm kidding, you kidding.
Thank you.
No, not this whiteboard, that whiteboard. Or is that what you're taking?
We want both of them.
Wow, okay.
Are you using it though, for real?
No, it's fine.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Don't do anything right now, just because she's going in front of the camera. No, go on ahead, but just...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to be a big deal. I'm so sorry.
After I helped you pass your math exam by teaching the math center, this is how you
I know, I owe you so much. You
Give her big answers next time.
saved my life.
I know. That's how you take a derivative. Trust me, you just write in two, no matter what. Ha ha ha. Alright. So, what's the one? Blood, sharpen, and blur. I said sludge. Blur, sharpen, and smudge are the tools that do very similar things. This one kind of just decreases the amount. If you do it enough, here, let me just make it larger and a harder hardness. If you want to get rid of these ripples, make them less defined, more just like, blurry things. If you want to make it look like you took something slightly out of focus, but you didn't, and you can't go back because maybe the model's dead, this is really the tool you'll use. This. Suddenly that moss is out of focus. Whoa! These rocks are out of focus. Whoa! But, so you want the water to really be in focus. Then, use the sharpen tool. And you can do something similar. Back up. Okay, I think I made it angry. It's not liking that. Oh, when you're using a really high resolution picture, sharpening is really difficult for it. Because it has to figure out all the little details and then make them more detail-y. And this is better for fixing a low resolution picture than fixing a high resolution picture. Then say you just wanted to imagine that this is a bunch of watercolor and you just want to draw using it. Like you want to draw your name. Well, you can do that too. That's what the smudge tool's for. If you've ever seen a picture of like Jesus' face on bread, or no, I was about to say people's names written in the snow, but then I remembered that does work otherwise. Or like Pikachu in your cappuccino. This is probably how they did it. Or it's a miracle, who knows? Okay. Gradients. Oh wait, I already showed you how to do that. Well, alright, I'm going to show you how to combine two pictures using it. Because it's really cool and really useful. And it can save you a lot of time.